How about them Cowboys, huh? How about them Cowboys? What a franchise. What a team. They're done. Niners still going. Second year in a row, the Niners have eliminated that sorry franchise that aspires to mediocrity. They did it. They were mediocre plus this season, the Dallas Cowboys. The Niners, on the other hand, really freaking good. They move on. I'm going to Philly next week, as they are too. So let's talk about this game before we move on to that game. Let's start with D'Amico Ryans and the defense. D'Amico Ryans was under fire this week. Word got out that he had agreed to 4 interviews in 1 week before the biggest game of the season for the 49ers. And I think from D'Amico's perspective, he's not doing anything that other coordinators haven't done. He's trying to set his family up for life. You know, it's within his rights to take these interviews. Also, he's got the number 1 defense in the league, and people probably shouldn't be questioning him. And on Thursday, me and all the reporters just grilled him mercilessly about, are you sure you know what you're doing? Are you sure you're prepared and you're budgeting your time well enough? And he had this attitude like, why am I answering these questions? I have the number 1 defense in the league. When I screw up, then you can hold me accountable. To his credit, he canceled 2 of the interviews. Colts and Cardinals. He's like, you know what? Maybe these writers and fans have a point. Maybe I got to prioritize. Maybe there's not enough time in a week to do everything. And although it would be great for him to have all 4 interviews, and there's a chance now that he won't become a head coach at all because his team's still alive, and whatever team would hire has to wait for the Niners to get eliminated, he did the right thing. Canceled 2 interviews, and you could tell he was at his best. The defense was back. He was creative, and he kicked the shit out of Dallas. He had them scouted perfectly. He had Dak scouted perfectly. They gave up like 3 scrambles, which is 3 more than I would like. But other than that, they kept him in the pocket. They pressured him. They anticipated the jump ball throws on the sideline. They picked him off. The effort was great. Also, I was clamoring all week, like, D'Amico, could we see something new? Could you scheme up some pressure if you can't get it on your own? Could you show some creativity, D'Amico? Well, he showed a lot today. That blitz with Talanoa Hufanga, called it a couple times, effective both times. So I respect D'Amico Ryans. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator, and he's had his defense playing great all year. Not particularly the last month. We finally called him out or asked him about it. He didn't like it, and he performed. Seems like he has competitive greatness. D'Amico Ryans. Very impressed by him and the defense. That being said, as soon as Tony Pollard got hurt, his job got way easier. Tony Pollard's a really good player. Even with Tony Pollard, I don't know that Dallas wins this game. But as soon as he went out, they had to hand the ball to Zeke Elliott, slowest running back I've ever seen in the NFL, one of them. So there was that, and there was also the fact that Dak Prescott, terrible. I mean, yeah, the Niners forced him into some of those mistakes, but at the same time, like, he's gotten hurt a lot, but he was so anxious on the field, so nervous. He was so conservative, too. He took 2 shots down the field. One he hit. The other one, Gallup was open. He missed the throw. Other than that, he was just taking what the defense gave him, which frankly wasn't a whole lot. So, and then, Dallas just fell apart. They looked tired. So, yeah, defense was great. D'Amico was great. But Dallas kind of let him off the hook a little bit. There were scramble lanes available. There were shots down the field available. Like, those are the 2 things you have to do to put up points in the Niners defense. Move around, get out of the pocket, throw down the field. And Dak, frankly, didn't do it enough. He took 2 shots down the field, hit 1. 50%. Take more. Next week, Jalen Hurts going to be moving more, throwing downfield more. So, that's what happens, right? You win a game, the challenge next week is even tougher. But A for D'Amico and his defense. Let's talk Kyle Shanahan and his offense. It was interesting. The last 2 months, Kyle Shanahan has been running circles around D'Amico in terms of creativity. D'Amico's shown very little. Kyle has shown a ton. In this game, all the creativity was from D'Amico. Kyle, it seemed like he was trying to be too creative, too cute. And in the first half, it's like, oh, Dan Quinn expects me to run. Dan Quinn expects, so I'm going to pass. And it's like the run game got going in the second half. The Niners didn't make a concerted effort to run the ball in the first half. It wasn't really working, but they weren't really, committed to it. Dallas was committed to it until Tony Pollard got hurt. The Niners weren't. And so you had Kyle really at his worst. outthinking himself, outcoaching himself, trying to be too cute, where with Dan Quinn over there just being like, yep, here he goes. That's what Kyle does. 3 times he's faced Dan Quinn. He scored 22 points, 23 points, and now 19. And what Dan Quinn did is basically took the blueprint that Pete Carroll has put out there for the Brock Purdy offense and improved on it. A lot of safeties on the field. Take away the middle of the field. Don't let Brock Purdy dice you up over the middle of the field. You know his arm isn't that strong. And then on top of that, the Cowboys, who have a very bad run defense, did a great job against the Niners' run game in the first half. They did a great job against Christian McCaffrey all game. They shut him down. Really, the Niners only averaged 3.5 yards per carry against a defense that can't stop the run. So if that team here can do that, 19 points, stop the run, take away the middle of the field, make the Niners work really hard on offense, with that defense, well, Philly can follow that same exact game plan, blueprint, and do it even better. Because they have as good of a pass rush as Dallas, but they have better players on the back end, better tacklers, better team. So Kyle Shanahan's going to have to coach a lot better in the next game. It wasn't all his fault that the offense scored 19 points, but he didn't really figure it out until the second half. The way I saw it was he kept trying to he couldn't find a run that worked. He was like, oh, let me put Deebo in the backfield. And first of all, in the first half, he just had Juszczyk. Every run, Juszczyk was the lead blocker. So Dallas, who has a very fast defense, they could just follow Juszczyk to the ball. And they swarmed the Niners running backs. That's what happened in the first half. Then it felt like Kyle tried to get really, really tricky. He started calling counter runs for Deebo Samuel in the back from the shotgun, like the kind of stuff that you would see drawn up on a Wheaties box. The most intricate play of all time loses 4 yards. It's like, Kyle, man. Kyle. You're better than the Cowboys. Can you just find some standard runs that you guys have executed well all year and do those? And finally he did. Now, Dallas also got tired. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with the Niners run game. All of a sudden, the Niners run game in the first half, especially when they're trying to establish it with Christian McCaffrey, is super finesse. Super finesse. Didn't used to be. The Niners have become a finesse pass-first team until it doesn't work and they have to go back to their identity, which is pounding the freaking rock with Elijah Mitchell. Jordan Mason didn't get the ball anymore. Jordan Mason and Ray McLeod are two of the best players in the Niners offense, but they don't get touches anymore. Anyway, maybe Kyle Shanahan just had an off game. But I remember last year in the divisional round, him and his offense scored 13 points in Green Bay. And they're like, it was cold. It was a blip, whatever. Then the next week they scored, 17? Lost in the NFC Championship game. So we all like Kyle and are impressed by his offense. It's just that he tends to do stuff like this in the playoffs. Today, the thing with Dak is Dak gonna Dak. You know what I'm saying? When he threw those picks, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Dak gonna... I even heard... I'm not going to say who said it. But a certain 49ers player who was up in the press box, he's injured. When he was leaving the press box, said, hey, Dak gonna Dak. Well, Kyle gonna Kyle. Kyle gonna Kyle. Oh, he forgets his run game. Oh, he loses his identity on offense. So, I'd like to see that Kyle doesn't do that anymore. I'd like to see Kyle seal the deal this year because no excuses. Look at this team. It's freaking loaded. All right, let's take some questions. Oh, damn. Hell of them. Oh, my God. Okay, guys, forgive me for talking fast. I gotta go speed round on this, all right? So, forgive me. Why do you guys like this so much? Fernando. You guys have to all go listen to that song by ABBA. It's a great song. Neil says Purdy has the same amount of playoff wins as Dak. Dude, Dak is done. He's so overrated. Robbie Gould, the real MVP, 4 for 4 in a game-winning tackle. Perfect technique, says Eric. Agree. Kevin A., you ready for the cold next week, Rant? Not particularly. I have to go get long johns, a beanie, gloves. I don't have shit like that. I live in California. It's all right. Key to 0 INT by Purdy. He threw the ball away a lot. I'm going to talk about Purdy next. JG Mod me. Purdy played efficiently today. Would have liked a TD on the sheet, though. Sure, he would have liked it as well. Wasn't great, but he was good. Rick James, thank you very much. The celebration. John, $2. Thank you. Gavin and Thing says, do you think Jimmy would have won this game? I don't. I'm going to talk about that next. Sachin says, Grant, my girlfriend got you to make a cameo for me before the game, and it made me the happiest. I've been in weeks. You the GOAT. Would love to meet you one day, man. I'd love to meet you too. I'm glad I put in a little extra for that. I was like, I could do it at my cubicle, but I'm like, nah, man, that sucks. Let me go do it on the field. So I hope you liked it. That's just between me and Sachin, though. That's just private. Cameo. John says Mitch needs to take kickoffs and boot it out the end zone from now on. So many big returns, just a matter of time before someone scores a TD. Yeah, man, that dude on Dallas was good. I was sitting in the press box today, just between us, next to Patrick Willis. I watched the whole game sitting next to Patrick Willis. We were talking and stuff. I was like, hey, Patrick. And he was like, hey, I don't think he knows my name. But it was so much fun. Freaking Patrick Willis. I was a fanboy today. Freaking Patrick Willis sitting next to me as a member of the media. Pretty cool. Matthew Sanders says, Philly, Cincinnati, Kansas City. We got to count on all these teams putting up around 28. Thus, we need 2 solid 30-plus performance. I think they can pull it off. Oh, they definitely can pull it off. Which Niner has the best smile? Talanoa. Slant Bone says, great win. As QC, though, I'd like to verily point out that Philly is a way different breed than Dallas. Also, Hurts has beaten Purdy in college before. Thank you, Slant Bone. Jay Will says it was nice seeing Zeke playing center on that last play. Yeah, man. I think it's funny in both of these playoff losses for Dallas, their last play was total embarrassment. And I think that's fitting for them. I think they deserve that. Yagamo says, is Purdy close to being figured out by good DCs? Is it Purdy or is it Kyle? Like, the run game wasn't working. That's not Purdy's fault. That's Kyle's fault. Ricky Rich says, use of Mitchell needs to be increased at least 50%. Yeah, and Jordan Mason is still on the team, Kyle. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We making noise? These fools are sleepy. Enjoy the couch, Blue Stars. Yeah, but that's not about the Cowboys, that song, right? Wiz Khalifa's a Steelers fan. And I like that song, We Them Boys. Because he says hold up like at least 70 times in that song. And I feel like anytime you say one word 70 times in 3 minutes, I like that song. Did you like Big Chicken Brock tonight? Yeah, I thought he was good. Poopy Pants, thank you. You're not going to get me to say that. Dustin the Gale says, how do you feel about McGlinchey getting suplexed? It was embarrassing. At the same time, Micah Parsons, holy shit. Wow, what a player. Eli Mitchell was huge second half. Go out of bounds. Good player. How does Purdy get so lucky with dropped interceptions? I don't know. He's super lucky. I think God is a Purdy fan. How much do you think the weather will affect the Niners next week, says Quinn Howard? I don't know what the weather's going to be. It's going to be cold, snowy, rainy, cold. It's going to affect me. I think the fact that they have one less day of rest and preparation also will affect them as well. Jose says, if we're winning next week, we have to dominate running the ball. Philly has better pass rushers by far and keep their offense in the sideline only way. Agree? Thank you, Jose. 2.0. Niners about to ride that monster. Brock all the way to a ship. BCB, baby. Let's freaking go. Suck it. Okay. Salim says Armstead hasn't had a lot of big plays, but it seems like he's been pretty consistent overall. Is he the best option for now? Oh, yeah, he's the best option. It'd be nice if he would, make an impact. Cowboys are number 2 DVOA on defense. Not surprised by any of this. Wouldn't trip about this, Grant. Kyle did his job. Fair enough. I was quite impressed by the Dallas defense until they got tired. Adam Paul says, Grant, I know you're married, but I'd figure I'd make it rain on you since the Niners won. Here's $5. Bang, bang. Bring me back a Philly cheesesteak. Making it rain with $4.99. Are you throwing nickels at me? Thank you. Game ball for Kittle. Your boy, trade him, right? Yeah, but I also agree, give him the game ball. Trade high, sell high. Christopher Kyrus says, I'm going to be honest, Cowboys D made BP look like Jimmy Garoppolo. Ooh, I disagree. Because we saw Jimmy Garoppolo play this team last year, and he turned the ball over. And the Niners ran for 183 in that game and only scored 17 points. So I would disagree. Here is $1.99 for a taco, Grant. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you do the Jimmy G in the pocket impression? Yeah, that's not Brock. Where was Bosa today? MIA, but he thought he had a great game. G-Code Travels Vlog POV says, does the running backs coaches talk the two running back about hold on. Does the running back coaches talk to the running back about staying in bounds? Elijah's mental error gave Dallas a chance at the end. I was saying get your Fernando down. I forgot that he did step out of bounds. Oh well. Huff missed a tackle while I sent the super chat. Yes. Do you think we should activate Drake against Philly? Yes. Yes. I mean, he's not a good run defender, but you can play him on pass rushing downs, and I think he's worth it. Brock helps Kyle and the offense stay grounded. It's painfully obvious when Kyle is putting out a bad script instead of scapegoating Jimmy for a bad play. Thank you, Ethan. Rick James. Can this defense stop Mahomes or Burrow, though? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really know. Dude, Dak is terrible. 808 Niners says Kyle Shanahan tried to run outside, but they were too fast. Only took them 3 quarters to just run up the middle. Thought we were supposed to be the hammer. Yeah, but you're not going to run up the middle in the first half against a fresh defense with McCaffrey. If you want to run up the middle, hey, you got Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason, baby. Baby. So that's kind of the problem. As long as McCaffrey is your back and you're not willing to use a rotation, you're going to be a finesse offense. How do you think Lenore played? Improving? Yeah, except for the 46-yard catch he gave up. But yeah, I definitely do think he's improving, for sure. Salim says Taco's closer to 5 these days. You can get him for 2 in Oakland. David Velez says there are no style points in the playoffs. If you win the game, you're a better team. Defense was low-key dominant. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. I didn't know that. It's great, but the Niners haven't won the Super Bowl yet, and they're going to have to play a lot better next week against Philly, and maybe they will, or maybe they won't. Matthew Sanders is going to be 45 degrees in Philly. Damn, West Coast is soft. That's it. Beautiful. See, last year they kept having to go to the Midwest, which is fucking cold. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Midwest. The technical term for the weather out in the Midwest right now is fucking cold. So, hey, 45 degrees sounds good. 2.0. We make it to the NFC Championship whenever Trey is on the team but doesn't play. I take it back. He's great. Y'all were right. Great draft pick. Thanks, 2.0. Reeves says player of the game is Kittle, Warner, Jimmy Ward. How you like that QB draw for Purdy? Terrible. Oh, yeah, I didn't like it at all. Plumbing God says, as of right now, clear 48 degrees next weekend, and Philly Grant pull a Kyle move and spend the week in Tahoe to prepare for the weather next game. Man, it's 45 degrees in Oakland right now. Are you kidding? I'll just go about my life. Sachin almost had Tart PTSD on Greenlaw drop pick late. I forgot about that play. That was a gimme. Did Kinlaw play today? Bust, says Christian. He did play, man. David says, if the NFC Championship game is a shootout between Hurts and Purdy, will it come down to who can throw better spirals in the cold climate? Or who doesn't turn the damn ball over, man? Niners are 15-0 when they win the turnover battle. AFC going to be Cincy. Mahomes' ankle is injured. Probably. Could be. Drewber 89 says O-line versus a D-line with 10-plus sacks each. Hope they figured out. How about our D-line versus Philly O-line? They looked good yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it's nice that the Niners are, like, finding ways to eke out wins against teams, but, like, you saw Philly yesterday. They kicked shit out of the Giants. Like, they put the game away in, like, the beginning of the second quarter and cruised for, like, 3 hours. So, that's a good team. The Niners could definitely beat them, but that's a really good team that's playing their best right now on both sides of the ball. And they're healthy and rested. Kyle called the game as if Jimmy Garoppolo were playing. It was only close because Kyle was coaching scared. I was not impressed by Kyle Shanahan today. I actually thought Brock Purdy kept the offense afloat. Niners will need a quarterback session a QC session to beat the Eagles. Got you. This week, I got you. Powerful One says, NFC Championship game is the Super Bowl this year. Whoever wins that game, I think, wins Phoenix in 3 weeks. Mahomes' injury really changes things. Wasn't that kind of the case last year, too, in the NFC Championship game? Kind of was. You're the GOAT prediction for Sunday. Man, give me your... You're going to have to wait for that. But thanks for calling me the GOAT. Happy New Year's, Grant. Appreciate your content. Niners had that good New Year's juju today. Thank you, Viet. Appreciate you. Been a while. Quinn Howard, got a chance to go to the NFC Championship next week. Do you think it's worth the trip? Yeah. Fucking, this is history. Glass City says, God, this pass rush is average and boring. Bull rush 100% of the time. Nothing special. Bosa can be neutralized. What the fuck? Javon is extinct. Step up or Niners are walking home. Secondary played well without push. They didn't really have push. That's a good point. I'm with you on that, man. It's kind of weird what's up with the pass rush. Greg says, I love this. I live in New Jersey. Chill, Grant. Giants are not even better than Hawks. Niners D is tremendous. Don't worry. Giants stink. Get Steve Prince steaks because steak. Yeah, huh? Look, whether the Giants are better than the Seahawks doesn't matter. They're about the same. Give or take. Philly beat the shit out of the Giants. Played them 3 times. Beat the shit out of them the 3rd time. Niners played the Seahawks 3 times. We're losing at halftime. They haven't played up to the level that Philly played yesterday in a while on both sides of the ball. But they might next week. And they need to because Philly's the best team in the league, or the Niners are. Demo's second INT in 2 games. QC, in effect, you're welcome. Nah, Grant, I've never been to the Midwest. What's up, Aaron? Since he's finest, is it cold as fuck? The Arcade Master 24 says, if Dak was able to gash us for yards, imagine what Jalen Hurts is going to be able to do. Definitely need to play better. Play better. Can't wait to hear your dad's take on the game, says Mooey. Yeah, me too. Lake Dad's World says, could Jimmy G have led the team this far? In my opinion, maybe the team could have carried him here, but BCB gives us a real shot at the Super Bowl. Nah, I think Jimmy Garoppolo would have been turning the ball over. Glory says, quality control needs to harp on the Niners' inability to deal with quarterback runs. Hurts is one of the best at it. Good win this week, though. My first Levi's game. Did you notice Bosa rushing past Dak and giving up the scramble? I did. Gregory Young says, banana hand strikes. Again, first half calls were terrible. QB drawed. What the hell? He never learns. Hope someone can get this team up as Kyle Shanahan never will. I try. Brock Purdy, first game scoring fewer than 20 points. 19 points. Quarterback rating below 80. No touchdowns. Thinking, boy, maybe Brock got exposed. Maybe Brock's not that much better than Jimmy Garoppolo after all. Well, I'm not sure Jimmy wins this game. Jimmy had a turnover issue, especially in the playoffs. Say what you want about Brock. It wasn't his best statistical game, but in a game where Kyle Shanahan wasn't at his best, the run game was MIA until the end of the third quarter. I mean, Brock didn't have a lot of help, right? Everyone always says, well, he's got the best supporting cast in the league. His job is so easy. Not today. And he made plays. Most importantly, he didn't turn the ball over. He made some big throws, particularly the one to Kittle. That Kittle had that juggling catch. But the most important thing that Brock did was not turn the ball over. Why did Brock not turn the ball over? Because he can move and he knows how to throw the ball away. He does it all the time, frequently. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think I told him that he was allowed to do that. I think he was like, really? There's not a rule against that? So I do think Brock Purdy clearly makes his team better. That being said, a little concerning in the sense that you're looking at him the last 2 months as, hey, this guy is their franchise quarterback. Well, today he looked like a game manager, a good game manager who can make some plays. But at the same time, I don't know that this performance from Brock is going to be enough next week in Philly. So these are big tests for him. And frankly, if he fails next week in Philly, I don't know, you write him off. It would be his first loss. But there's a reason that a rookie quarterback has never won more than 2 playoff games. He's won 2. Him, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez. Next week is going to be a huge test. And if he wins it, if he beats Philly next week, he'll be like the most legendary rookie quarterback ever, if he isn't already. But, again, for all these reasons, I don't know that we necessarily should expect Brock Purdy and the Niners offense to just tear it up next week. Got to go cross country. One fewer day to prepare than Philly. The book is out on the Brock Purdy defense. Pete Carroll created it. Dan Quinn improved upon it. And the Eagles are going to be studying it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I gave him a B+ for this performance. He was good, not great. Really impressed by how well he does protecting the ball. There was one near pick, but that was tipped by Anthony Barr. There was also another throw early in the game to Brandon Ayuk that was underthrown, but really Brandon Ayuk didn't stack the receiver. He didn't do any. It was an easy pass breakup because Brandon Ayuk didn't run the route particularly well or play particularly well in this game. So I'm still encouraged by Brock Purdy, but you do have to acknowledge that teams are starting to figure him out a little bit in the sense that they had no freaking clue what to do against him 3 weeks ago, and now it's like there's an idea. And it's effective. Favorite thing about Purdy is second, third, and 15 is doable. Oh, I like him a lot too. Teach Huff and AA how to wrap up and tackle, please. I will teach them. Particularly AA because he likes me. Ray from Fresno says we need to get Val Venus the ball more. What was why didn't the Big Red Machine wrap up Dak in the end zone? Rock and Brock connection, get it done again. Thank you. Armstead missed a safety and didn't tackle, says Christopher. I saw that. Melissa says, do you prefer to watch a good offensive game or a good defensive game? They're both fun. Probably a good offensive game, but there is something to be said for a good defensive game where two teams are warring over every single yard. It's a lot of fun. What do you prefer, Melissa? Hector says, could Trey have done this if healthy all season? We don't know. I think he could have, but we don't know. Aaron Joseph says it snowed over 7 inches today, but we got skyline. Love you, Aaron. That was funny. The Arcade Master 24 says, if we lose next game, what do you think the reason would be, coaching offense or defense? It would be the fact that Philly's better. I'm not saying Philly's better, but if the Niners lose next week, it's because Philly's better. What are they with Jalen Hurts this year? 15-1? If the Niners lose next week, it's because they freaking lost to Chicago, Denver, and Atlanta and didn't get the number 1 seed. The Niners should be 18-1 right now. The loss to Kansas City, fine. They lost to Chicago, Denver, Atlanta, not playoff teams. That would be the main reason the Niners lose next week if they lose. That they had to go to Philly when they shouldn't have. Yana Vander's son says, why were the cornerbacks giving lots of room to nobody? Wide receivers a problem. Good passing teams will exploit. Love you, Grant. I don't know, man. Maybe it was a Dak Prescott specific thing. I certainly believe the Eagles did well because of their bye week. Good thing to have, huh? Makes a difference, huh? Niners Faithful says, week 9, Commanders 32-21, Eagles, Niners D is better. Yeah, but the Eagles offense might be better. Nick Craig says, do Niners stand a chance against the Eagles? Niners powered defense and an effective offense versus Eagles high powered offense and defense is okay. Defense is okay? I think it's good. It's a good defense. Dustin the Gale says, don't you have to say, how about them Cowboys, Fernando, from someone's donation earlier in the week? I did say that. I already said both. I said both. I started the show with that. Jimmy wins this game still. Trey doesn't trade him. Thanks for your input. Christopher, what do you think about Kittle's response after the game to Purdy taking their team to the NFC Championship? I forgot what he said, but I liked it. Sorry. Andrew says, is Philly's pass rush better than Dallas's? Yes. And Dallas is really good. But Philly, I think they led the league in sacks. They have 4 guys with more than 10 sacks in their D-line. Fernando. I have to sing it if you say that. It is a rule. And the award for running into the quarterback in the end zone and not getting the safety goes to Armstead. How does someone that large not get the sack safety? That's a better question for Eric. Gabe says, D'Amico incorporating some wrinkles on his defense. I think he's about to put a masterpiece together next week against Jalen Hurts, shutting up his critics. That would be cool. Niner Boss Talk says, if Ray didn't fumble, would have been another shutout second half. This is Keith, by the way. Yeah. Niners did great. Dallas fell apart. Dallas got tired. 4 field goals. What's the problem in the red zone? I don't know. Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn was good. Jimmy wins this game. Oh, no, got you already. You got to love the last gasp of Jimmy Garoppolo fans. Like, all right, get it out. Say what you got to say. He's almost gone. But do what you got to do. Hold on. Hold the phone, Quinn Howard. I know it's early, but what do you think we need to focus on the most to win next week? Keeping the quarterback in the damn pocket and not giving up 50-yard catches. And running the damn ball on offense. Anoop says Kyle's game plan and play calling were terrible, particularly in the first half. Kyle didn't let Brock throw it into the end zone. 12, 22 personnel, QC on it. Got you, Anoop. Good observations. Did Dan out coach Kyle? No question. Peyton Wisdom says, please for once, can you talk about what we all want to hear? Go in depth on the player of the game, Mitch Wishnowsky. He was good. Tony L says, with Hurts' tender shoulder, that would be a bad game plan if they'd run him against us. Our defense can lay the wood. I like our chances. You should like it, the Niners' chances. The Niners have good chances. Kevin says, what about you and Chase Sr. doing a collab from Chat Sports? Sure. I'm always open-minded to collab with people. Slant Bone. The Niners don't feature Purdy in the post-game locker room videos. Why do you think that is? I feel like they're trying to make it not about him. I didn't notice that. They don't show his videos? I do. That's really weird. Good observation. Hugh says, will Philly be the best D we've experienced yet? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Niners' most physical D. Eagles will play. Chill, G. I'm chilled. Having a great time. Effing love you, Grant, just as good as the Niner game. Thank you, Quinn. Appreciate you. All right, moving on. Let's go quick. Gotta go home. Deebo Samuel. Not impressed. I've been talking about Deebo all year, and he'll have these, he went off last week in garbage time against Seattle when Seattle quit, but in this game, man, he was not a factor. He had like 57 yards from scrimmage. He had a couple catches. He had a 4-yard loss in the run game. But I think like what I was most troubled by with Nick Deebo is that they kept taking him off the field. And it seemed like they took him off the field for run plays because he wasn't blocking. And it's like, man, that's effort. You got your extension because you were blocking and doing all the other things. But now it's like, I don't think the effort's the same. I don't think his conditioning's the same. And he was not an impact player in this game. So that's a little concerning because the offense didn't perform that well. And last year when the offense was struggling, he was like the Captain Saving offense. And today he was nowhere. And I don't think he's going to flip this switch against good defenses because he's not himself right now. He's not in 100% tip-top shape. And sorry, it's just the way it is. It's been that way all year. Good defense that had speed on it. Dallas was a fast defense. They really neutralized him. So we'll see what Philly does next week. But I don't know. Maybe the Niners can win a Super Bowl in spite of Deebo Samuel this year. Maybe they can win a Super Bowl with Deebo Samuel not really contributing consistently because that's been the story this year. But Deebo kind of took himself out of the game. Christian McCaffrey wasn't great. You're going to score 19 points. You got Brock Purdy running for his life. You got George Kittle like inventing routes on the backside of plays. Like it was a little hairy today. And it's always easier when Deebo Samuel's at his best, but he won't be there probably this year, unfortunately. Now let's talk about Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa, once again, no sacks. Last 4 games, 1 sack. This is very un-Bosa. You know, Big Lebowski. Very un-dude. This is very un-Bosa. Okay? And it's funny, Nick Bosa keeps it real about the team. Always talks about, you know, why they didn't play as well. If they lost, why. If they won, you know, was it really a great performance? He keeps it real. And so I asked him, you know, hey, you set the bar so high. So 1 sack last 4 games, surprising. Our team's doing something different. He said, I'm playing great, essentially, paraphrasing. I'm playing great. I thought I was great today. Sacks come in bunches. Sacks aren't a true indicator of performance. I'm doing great. That was news to me. I didn't notice him much in this game. And then after me, someone asked Bosa, what makes Tyron Smith good? Right tackle. Been in the league a long time. Future Hall of Famer. Nick Bosa said, yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time, but I feel like I had my way with him. When? At what point? I must have missed it. Anyway, very interesting. I've never seen Bosa get defensive like that. Never. And, you know, I'm sure he believes it. I was surprised. I thought he would be a little more honest with himself. And I know that I'm sure that there are positive things he's doing. I'm not saying he's a liability or he's having a negative impact on the defense, but he's supposed to be the defensive player of the year. He's supposed to be making a bigger impact than anyone else on any defense in the league, and he's not for the last 4 games. But he thinks he is, which is interesting to me. Because, I mean, he's making an impact, but not a Nick Bosa level impact. But he thinks he is. Anyway, interesting, because the Niners defense, even without him making a Nick Bosa level impact, dominated today. So maybe they don't need him to do that. Although I'm thinking against Philly, he's going to have to play a whole lot better. Maybe 1 sack against Philly. Maybe 2. I don't know. Look, he's allowed to have 1 sack in a 4-game stretch. He's human. I was just so surprised at his answer. I'm playing great. I had my way with that guy. Oh, good to know. Thank you for being your toughest critic. Hold on. How am I so far back? Hold on. Wait a second. And we stopped the Josh Allen hype train. You know what? I'm gonna block this dude real quick. Hold on. I don't like you. You're blocked. Because I make the rules around here. Niner Boss Talk says, and we can stop the Josh Allen hype train. Yeah, the Bills really wasted his rookie deal, and now he's going to be expensive, and they missed their window. Ha! Scrambling quarterbacks are a weakness. Oh, yeah, and Jalen Hurts does that. Do Eagles have a weakness? If so, what? I'm going to have to find that one. It ain't the offensive line or the defensive line or the quarterback or the weapons, probably their linebackers. I feel like every team's weakness is their linebackers, except for the Niners. McGlinchey got suplexed. There are no words. Are you doing a call-in next weekend and when? Yeah, I guess I have to, right? I'll be in Philly. I'll do one from Philly. But I also want to do some travel vlogs, so we'll work it out. Flying to Philly next Friday. That's going to be fun. Nick, thank you. Hey, Armstead, sack Dak. QC needs to step it up this week. I know, I really didn't do my best. Ray from Fresno says, Val Venus went on Niners postgame and alleged players told Kyle to run the ball. Rod Brooks then asked Kyle when he came on. Kyle denied it. The dude abides, man. Players told Kyle to run the ball and Kyle denied it. Wow. Kyle was tripping in the first half. This is Kyle. Dak gonna Dak, Kyle gonna Kyle. At the finish line, he's like, oh, I can't run the ball. What? You've been doing it all year. It's how you got here. Crazy. But that's how it go. Not a fan of Purdy running backwards. And yeah, when Fred or Kyle does a post-game speech and they post it on YouTube, it never features Purdy. Well, I will make sure to post Purdy quickly. I don't see how the Eagles can cover CMC, Deebo, Kittle, and MC. Outside their corners, their linebackers and safeties are average at best. Isn't that what everyone said this week about Dallas? Man, they can't stop the run. They definitely can't cover Christian McCaffrey. But they did. Both of those things. So, seems like you put enough safeties on the field. You take away that middle of the field and take away the Niners' positionless brand of football. Dunking McGlinchey was the best thing in slow motion. You root for the 49ers. That's your favorite right tackle, right? Also, was Trey out there reciting plays with Kyle? Trey was out there reciting plays with Kyle. Good for Trey. Good for Kyle. Brock hasn't shown pocket. Trey has. Trey steps up. Okay. Fool's Gold, Bengals versus Eagles. Bengals win it all. Yeah. I'm going to put this one dude. Oh, hold on. Should I? Nah. Bengals Niners Super Bowl would be cool, right? Because there's been a couple of those. Much love, Grant. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Julio. Okay. Hold on. Left click. Okay. So I've alluded to this a little bit already in the show, but I think we should make it its own topic. It's the playoffs. It's the most impressive year. This was the most impressive win of the season for the 49ers. The Cowboys are the best team they've beaten. And they beat them by 7. And they really made Dallas look terrible on offense. A very impressive win. Absolutely. But at the same time, this isn't good enough for what the Niners have to face next week in Philly. The level of performance the Niners demonstrated today in this game was not good enough. Not on offense, not on defense. They're going to have to take it to another level next week. Can they? Yes. Have we seen them do it? Well, not against a team like Philly, but we've seen them do it, especially in the past. So they can do it. But again, it was great they beat Seattle last week, but that effort wasn't good enough to win this game. Then this game, they step it up a little bit. Defense does better. But this effort here is not going to be good enough to win the next game. So they got to step it up one more time. And what's scary is that the next team is not trying to figure it out, step it up. They're humming, clicking. So in this game, the Niners won, but they had 2 extra days to rest and prepare. Dallas got tired. It was Dallas's 4th consecutive road game. They lost their most explosive offensive player in Tony Pollard early. So again, I'm not saying the Niners should feel bad about themselves, but the Niners and their fans and the whole organization probably should be honest. They did what they had to do, but they don't need to beat their chests and act like they've already won the freaking Super Bowl because, again, they haven't shown that they're the best team in the league. They're one of them. But you saw Philly the other day. That's what a juggernaut clicking on all cylinders looks like. This is a team that can play that way, but hasn't in a while. I mean, the defense was great in this game. Offense wasn't, special teams wasn't. They won. Meanwhile, Philly clicking on offense, defense, and special teams. So it's great. They faced Dak. They made him be Dak. But, and And it's like, this is the best team they've beaten. Dallas is definitely one of the top 8 teams in the league. Niners beat them pretty convincingly. So if there are teams better than the Niners, there's like 1 or 2. And so we're saying they got to play better to win it all. Like, yeah, it's a very high bar to win it all. They haven't done it since I was 7. But they're definitely one of the best teams in the league this year. And if they had won this game like, 30-12, I'd say, okay, here we go. It's the best team in the league. What's funny is all week I'll say, man, something wrong with his defense. Something wrong with his defense. Not today. It was the offense. And it was Kyle. Kyle in his own head. Kyle trying to figure out, oh my God, I have all these weapons. How do I use them? How do I score points with all of these weapons? Oh, I run the ball. I maintain balance on offense. Oh. Kyle's so smart. So good win. Good win. A win's a win. It's the playoffs. It's the Cowboys. But you'd feel better if they'd play better on offense, right? There's a part of you as a Niner fan right now that's thinking, Philly's going to be really tough next week. Philly's going to be really tough next week. Rookie quarterback. Bit of a book getting out on him. Kyle hasn't responded to it. What's going to happen? Glass City says, Deebo puts his celebrity in front of football. Lack of effort is the worst rep destroyer for players. Bosa is cocky and needs a reality check. I agree. Niners lose with this effort and execution. Yeah. And it seems like the kind of team that can sort of step it up when necessary, so they got to step it up again. Deebo puts his celebrity in front of football. It's funny how football players go from hardworking guys just grinding for that contract extension to full-blown celebrities after they get the contract extension. Happens a lot. George Kittle, great player, great game today. I'm so tired of him looking at the camera on the field. I don't think it's cute. He's been doing it forever. I'm sorry. I think it's corny. It's not bad. I just think it's corny, which is worse than bad. Niners are a physical team and slow down everyone. It's true. Yo, it's Abe from Stadium. How are you still there, LO? What's up, Abe? I don't know. They won't let me leave. Abe's cool. I saw him about an hour ago. Hold on. Is my dad in here? Maybe he does. Maybe he is. Hold on. Randy, this was the most pressure Brock's seen so far. You think he can handle the Eagles? Well, can the offensive line handle the Eagles is the question. I thought he did a good job of staying healthy and avoiding sacks and throwing the ball away. But what's up with the offensive line? Kyle Shanahan outsmarts himself, returns after playing loose. Yep, says Mikey. Agree. Ethan M. Niners are going to have to shoot it out next week. Could be. Do you think they wanted to keep the score low so Eagles would think it would be an easy game and then blow them out? Says Samir. Yeah. Yeah, man, they were terrible on offense for a long time on purpose. 4D chess, 5D chess, 7D chess. Darian Diaz highlight says next week's winner will win the Super Bowl. Niners will have to trust their cornerbacks and blitz to get to Hurts. Kittle is their biggest threat downfield. Use him. Hey man, don't write off the AFC teams just yet. There's some good quarterbacks over there, better than Dak and Geno. JJ 2 clutch catches, get him the ball over Deebo. Sachin, thank you. He deserves more. He blocks his ass off. He catches the ball. Scorpion Killer 0 says, do you think our secondary did well? I feel they held up well, but Lenore has got 2 picks in the playoffs so far. Is this luck or him improving? I think he's definitely improving. That being said, the Cowboys still went after him deep. He gave it the long catch. They let him off the hook. They did. If Pollard stayed in, they would have lost. It would have been a closer game. Zing Dad, thank you. Russell J, strange robotic echo coming from your feed tonight, brother. Double checked it on other YouTube channels. It's definitely just coming from you. Sorry about that. That sucks. Off topic, but what happened to Mondays with Vish? Man, he moved on. He's getting paid to work somewhere else. I don't pay my guests. Some people just graduate and move on. The way I look at it is I'm promoting them. I'm giving them a free platform. When I go on people's platforms, I never make them pay me. When I go on the radio, I never charge people. So at a certain point, you don't want to work for free anymore. You move on. You want to focus on your own. So I think that's what happened. So he's doing his own thing, and I respect it. Go follow Vish. Give me some talking points for work tomorrow. Dak is terrible. Kyle, and Ray's fumble cost us points. Final score should have been 29-9. But it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, even if Dre Greenlaw had a pick six, it didn't mean the Niners' offense was good. Even if Ray didn't fumble, that doesn't mean the Niners would have scored on that possession. Like, the Niners' offense was a problem in this game. Hufanga needs to learn how to tackle. You're the 8th person that said that. I will tell him. I will tell him he needs to learn how to tackle. Like CMC says, we left a lot of meat on the bones. Yeah. You gotta get that meat, baby. Kevin Romero says they're down. Chase and Trace from Chat Sports would be good. Watch. Hold on. They're down. Chase and Trace from Chat Sports would be good. Watch y'all since 2019 would be cool, man. If you go to the Super Bowl, I will definitely donate. I think that would be cool. During the Super Bowl, we'll do a lot of working with other people that I don't normally work with. That'd be fun. Gary Be Good. Thank you, Gary Be Good. That was nice. Hold on. Ray says I'm garbage. Thanks, Ray. So are you. I think that's it. I was going to preview the Eagles game, but I think I have like a million times in the stream. I don't think I need a special Philly. Should I? Yeah, okay, let's talk about Philly. Almost 4K tonight. You killing it, Grant. Thank you. All right. Let's look ahead to Philly real quick. I'll try not to repeat myself too much. But what's cool about the Philly game coming up is it does feel like it's the two best teams in the league, at least in the NFC. And it feels like for the first time in maybe 3 months, the Niners are really facing an opponent that's worthy of them. Dallas wasn't. Their defense was admirable early on, but 4 straight road games, like they didn't put themselves in position to really beat the Niners. You were a wild card team. You had to fight an uphill battle. Good luck fighting an uphill battle against the 49ers. Well, Philly's not fighting uphill. They're at home. They have an extra day to prepare. They played yesterday, and they have Dallas's blueprint for stopping Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan in the Niners offense. That's out there. It's been executed the last 2 games. Seahawks for half a game, Dallas for half a game. Philly can play 60 minutes. They're the number 1 seed. They're at home. They're rested. They're more talented than any other team in the league except the Niners. 2 most talented teams in the league. Best weapons, best defenses. Niners have a better defense, but you'd have to say Philly has just as good of weapons, a much better offensive line, and a better quarterback. I like Brock Purdy, but Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, if not the MVP. He's lost 1 game this year. And he is a lot like a young Russell Wilson, but bigger. And the Niners always had so much. No quarterback has had more success against the Niners the last decade than Russell Wilson because he hits them in the 2 places they're vulnerable. Outside the pocket, down the field. Outside the pocket, down the field. Jalen Hurts will take those opportunities. Dak is slow as hell. Jalen Hurts is not. So I'm not saying Philly's going to win, but I do think it's going to be a better game, and I think the Niners are definitely going to have to be on their A game to win it. Was this the Niners' A game tonight? No, and they still won. Was that their A game against the Seattle Seahawks 2 weeks? No, and they still won by a lot. But to beat Philly in Philly, you're going to have to be playing your A-plus game. And when was the last time the Niners did that? Tampa. And Tampa sucks. Philly does not. But they've lost 2. So it's going to be really interesting. And again, the Niners definitely have another gear. There's more meat on the bone for the 49ers. It'll be interesting to see if they can tap into all of their potential. And frankly, before the playoffs, someone asked me, I don't know if it was on KTV. I think it was on KTVU. This is Sal Castaneda. If the Niners don't win the Super Bowl, what will be the reason why? And I said, Kyle, having a great year. Great regular season. Pushing all the right buttons. Seems kind of unstoppable with Brock Purdy right now. But you know what? He's done this before. He's had phenomenal runs in the regular season. Kyle's career thus far is defined by his improbable collapses in the playoffs. And today, we got some flashbacks. We got some flashbacks, so we're going to need to see Kyle at his best next week in Philly. Because, again, if the Niners lose in Philly next week, what's the reason going to be for it? It could be the defense getting shredded. It could be Kyle, pulling a Kyle and losing his mind. Or it could just be the fact that the Niners were on the road and didn't take care of business in September and October. It's possible. Or the Niners go to Philly and kick the shit out of the Eagles, and then they go to the Super Bowl and kick the shit out of whoever they play, and it's just one of those years. You going to do a Philly cheesesteak? Of course. Like, that's the most important thing I need to do this weekend. Big Hawk, Brock. Say it. You almost got me. Bosa worked his butt off tonight, does small things that free up the linebackers, Huff, D-line, etc. Kittle feeding off cams and crowd, it seems, is how he stays loose. Bosa doing the little things, I'm sure. But he does also more than the little things. He's supposed to. But you know what? He thought he did a great job, so who am I to say any different? Salim, thank you very much. 2.0 says, feels like you don't like Deebo, Kittle, and others because they don't like you. But if they ever looked at you, you'd be gargling them up just like Jimmy Ward. Oh, no. I really do like Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. I like them a lot. Particularly Kittle. We have a nice little rapport. But as quality control, it is my duty. Nay, it is my job to keep it real. And so real, I shall keep it. Nelson says, game against Philly, I think will come down to coaching. Who has the edge? I don't know, man. Philly's got some good coaches, too. I mean, they got a better record than the Niners. Curious to why they never just kick touchbacks. I don't know. I'll tell them to. Daryl Smock says, Grant, yesterday was my first time watching the Eagles. They looked like us. No lie. No, I hate that song. Salim says, 500. Here's $5. Thank you. Thomas Schull says, how does Vish not know an hour for free on the most popular channel is good for business? Man, God love Vish. I got nothing but love for Vish, man. Nothing but love for Vish. Angel says, what should Niners do focus on to win next week? Playing better on offense and special teams. Kyle, man, you can't give up on your run. You're not a pass-first team. Is it true that your team told you to run the ball at halftime and you were like, okay, and then after the game you're like, that didn't happen? Listen to your freaking team. Fozzie says Kyle's legacy year. His reputation is on the line. Oh, yeah. And he knows it. Shub H says, smack in the mouth, Kyle needed. D looked a lot better tonight. If offense shows up ready to play, we can make the bowl for sure. You married? It turns out that actually I am married. Little known fact, me. Significant other, have one. Gibson wouldn't have dropped the INT in NFC Championship game last year. I agree with that. I agree. Wholeheartedly. The show's over right now. Poopy Pants says, is not being able to beat out Mr. Irrelevant going to be enough for you to admit you were wrong about Trey? I'm not going to make the mistake that you're making I'm not going to write off a 22-year-old quarterback after 4 starts. Brock Purdy looked a little bit more human tonight. He's going to be the starter, but let's see what happens next year. He could come back to earth. He could get hurt. Trey Lance could come in, be even better. So, Poopy Pants, why don't you go take a shower, put on some non-poopy pants, and change your attitude, buddy. Gregory Young says, shout out to Jimmy Ward. Almost had a pick and his plant on the last play to seal the win. Hope we re-sign him. He's such a good player. Yeah, man, he's the best DB on the team. Damn Quinn. Is Damn Quinn getting that gig now? He was really good today, and now he's a free agent. I mean, the season's over. I think he might get hired before D'Amico. Suchin says, I'm always missing the lives and having to rewatch them. I'm always missing the live streams and having to rewatch them later in the day, but finally caught one. Take all my money. Also, number 7 is scared. He's so far off wide receivers. Yeah, man, Trevarius Ward is a shell of himself. The show is over. Artesia Novello, thank you so much. Moon Ahmed says, this is the Niners' first hard win. Eagles haven't even played a playoff quarterback other than Daniel Jones since week 4. Okay, well, now they got Brock Purdy. Big arm Brock. Russell J says, I believe wholeheartedly that when you rewatch the game on film, you'll see all the things Bosa did. Additionally, you'll see him favoring his ribs a few times throughout the game. He's nicked up. Well, that's the answer. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's not making his usual impact on the game, which is a fact. And thank you for that observation, Russell J. Michelle H. Just brazenly disobeying my command to end the show. No, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Poopy pants. Why don't people take me seriously? It's the poop in your pants. I'm pretty sure. The show's over. Poopy pants is going to go take a shower and change his pants and his underwear. I'm going to go drive home. It's 10:50. Hopefully I get home before midnight. Thank you for watching. I'm heading to Philadelphia.